1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, and welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara, our Sunday celebration service. We're continuing down the yellow brick road, the journey of your spiritual awakening. Are you ready? Yeah, right? Everybody's coming here. Yeah, I'm ready. Well, thank you, Diana. That's it. I mean, willingness is 99% of it. So we show up, we open our hearts, and we let the magic happen. So let us just center into this moment in life. It's just incredible to focus, and Woody, I'll let you play a little because it's always so nice when Woody's playing. This is the only moment. We don't breathe into the past. We don't breathe into the future. We breathe into life right here and right now. It's so simple to focus on breathing, your lungs expanding, your lungs releasing. The idea of saying in your mind, all is well. I'm reflecting on, in this moment, in this breath, you have all that you need. There is nothing missing. I am enough. Just say that in our hearts. I am enough. And we feel the remembrance and the truth of that knowingness, that ease of living. So thank you, Spirit, for the divine appointment of everyone online, everyone in our sanctuary. All is well, and I am enough. And so it is. Thanks, Woody. So again, we're so happy to be in the month of October. It's this beautiful fall time. In some places of the world, the leaves change. And it's a great time to sort of do the pumpkin thing and the, kind of feeling like the coziness thing, the orange thing, come on. But mainly, we're always doing the spiritual awakening thing. And so here at Unity of Santa Barbara, we have a mission statement. And we say it together to remind us our mission here at Unity of Santa Barbara, and here it is. We inspire, educate, and serve to awaken our oneness with Spirit. Yeah, so it's a big deal to just be in that consciousness of educating, serving, and inspiring. And yes, inspiring, thank you. And again, the oneness is always there. So nothing is missing. So your soul is very welcome here, and we're going to have you stand if you choose, and we'd love you to sing along. Nathalie Nesh is here with us today. Let's give Nathalie a big hand. And so let us stand. The words will come up, and my soul is welcome here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Look, hands. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. message loud and clear. My soul is what God hears.
Thank you, Nathalie. Wonderful. What a great way to start. We are here together, gathering at unity with our loving, joyful nature that we are, our real strengths, and our great music team to help us along. The candle is lit to remind us that we are the light of the world, the light, the universal symbol of all that is good, of joy, of truth, of peace. And so let us affirm this together. I am the light of the world. Again, I am the light of the world. And I sound the chimes. Here they are. And this reminds us that harmony is part of who we are. And we can be in harmony with our spirit self. And it can be brought into who we are in our expressions in many different ways. The daily word for today is joy. The affirmation is, a growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. Let us affirm that together. A growing awareness of God's presence is my greatest joy. Joy. Awakening from a restful sleep, I give thanks for this new day and all the people who are part of it. Although I cannot know what will happen as the day unfolds, I remind myself that everything and everyone might lead me to a greater awareness of God. The growing awareness, this growing awareness, is my greatest joy. Even if the day includes less than happy experiences, I will know the quiet joy and comforting strength of the peaceful presence of God that is with me always. I will rejoice in being alive, able to think, feel, and appreciate sights, sounds, and aromas that fill my environment. I will discover joy anew as I recognize that each person I meet today as a unique expression of the wonder of God. And from Psalms, this is the day that God has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Ooh, hard not to feel wonderful about joy. It connects us to a strong sense, a power of our spiritual self. I consider it the mood of the soul. It's always present. If we don't feel it, you just need to reach a little higher, a little deeper, a little more consistently, and it'll be there. One of the joys of my life is our children. Our oldest child is having a birthday soon, and my wife brought down some pictures of when he was young. And so it was wonderful to see how we have grown. One of my favorite memories is when he was 5 years old. He was enrolled in a church school, and I didn't know exactly what he was learning until one day I heard from my wife what had happened with an exchange with him. They were together doing something, and somehow she got carried away with doing something that was important to get out of the way and complete, and finally she said, "Alex, you have such a smart mom. I finished my task." And he looks up at her and he says, "Yeah, but you're not as smart as God, Jesus, or Santa Claus." And of course, he found out soon after that his mom was Santa Claus. So I can't help but think that joy filled his heart. So we have joy. Let us celebrate joy. Let us appreciate its presence. And may the presence of joy be more alive than ever before for you today.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home, I wish I was back through it. The things I've been knowing, and then it makes the tall grass bending, leaning. Suddenly snowflakes that fall have a meaning, sprinkling the sea makes it all clear. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It would sure have been nice to be back home where there's love and affection. And just maybe I can convince them to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time be my friend. Let me start again. Finally, my world's gonna run its face, but I know where I'm going. I have had my mind spun around in space, and yet I want you to grow. And if you're listening, God, please don't make it hard to know we wish you believe the things we see. Should we try and stay, or should we run away, or should it be better if we let things be? Living here in this brand new world might be a fantasy, but it taught me to love, and it's real, real to me. And I've learned that we must look inside our hearts to find our word full of love, like yours, like mine, like
Now, there's some power. Thank you. My gosh, thank you, Nathalie, and Woody, and Randy, and Rene. What a team. Let's give them a hand, right? Talk about opening the hearts. You know, you can't resist that level of vibration, that level of love. And it ignites that is within you. I was just pulling up the lyrics because they're so great. It says, and I've learned that we must look inside our hearts to find a world full of love, like yours, like mine, like home. This morning with our praying, I was just inviting people to say what they love about this place. And I invite you, if you're in Santa Barbara, come to this space. It's incredible what people experience just energetically when they walk in. People were loving the grounds, as Jan said, and folks were feeling the connection with each other. There's such power with the open heart. with the open mind. And we need to be reminded all the time, because if you click on that news, you might forget. They say CNN has often been called constantly negative news. So we want to remind ourselves that that isn't the level of living, like Jim's talking about. It's not the level of joy that can instantly happen to us when we're willing to start to shift the way we see the world. And that's what we teach here at Unity. It's called New Thought. It's really sort of old thought revised into something that you can use in your life. And that's why they call it practical, to practice it, to live it. And people will come in here and have been here a little while. Bill Dutton brought me a picture that you had some hair, but anyway, and you're still, my mother says of bald people, you have such a great face that God extended it. Yeah, right? So that's it, my Southern mother, yes. But the idea is that we grow and we change, and people that have been here a while will say, my life's different, and really in ways I didn't expect, but it's shifted on the inside out. And it's fascinating to know that everything you're looking for is inside of you. It's so different than how we're raised, how we're taught, that something's missing, that something's broken, that you need to strive and hope you can get the right things in life to be whatever we're calling successful. And the story of the Wizard of Oz is all about people that thought they were broken, finding that what they had, what they needed, was inside of them all the time. And they had to go on the journey, and they had to keep going, and they had to keep talking about how they felt, and because they were with one another, they had an awakening. This community is extremely powerful, all right? Last week, thank you for nodding there. I really love that. Last week we talked about the beginning of this story, of Dorothy's story, of the hero's journey. We talked about the importance of cyclones, and we talked about the importance of the rainbow being here and now rather than somewhere over the rainbow. Monday night, I was at Shoreline Park. Yeah, right, I was at Shoreline Park. I just hadn't but the dog. We were walking along. It was a nice sunny sort of about before 6, and all of a sudden it starts thundering. It starts lightning. Everyone, it was a phenomena. I've actually seen this before, but it seemed like everybody in Santa Barbara had not. And people were grabbing their cameras, and they were just lined up against the shoreline on the ocean, taking pictures of the lightning and the thunder. And while that's happening, I turn around, and there's a rainbow. And I'm just going, whoa, it's just what we talked about on Sunday. So I'm going to be very careful what I talk about today. And I'd like you all to recognize how powerful you are. It was an extraordinary experience. I did have to laugh. I finally just, sat down and was watching it because, and wishing I had a better camera and all those kind of things. But I see a little kid going by, and he's about 3, kind of figuring out how to walk, and he's looking at the sky, and he says, "Mom, look at the sky. What's going on?" And he's just in wonder. This childlike wonder that we can be in if we can be in the now. And his mother's coming behind him, and I just had to laugh because she said, "Oh, Stuart, we used to live in Nebraska. We saw this all the time. Now keep going. We're in a hurry." And I just thought, this is our thing, is that kid-like wonder in us, and then somebody, we're in a hurry. We have things to do. Don't be excited about the sky. We used to live in Nebraska, for heaven's sakes. We saw it all the time. I was just laughing because I realized there's a kid in me and there's that adult in me. Keep moving. Who cares? And it's really a funny life we live with these two aspects of us that really want to be in the now and really want to appreciate what's going on, and then the part of us that we got to, get stuff done. We have to move along. And I'm knowing that as we develop our childlike wonder more and more, the time of life just tends to be a little softer, a little easier, and a lot more fun. So welcome to the Yellow Brick Road, the Wizard of Oz, the rainbow that's right here and right now. And Spencer, it's great to see you back. Spencer had a little challenge last week, and look at your wellness and Ugat, and thank you all for proving that divine wellness in yourselves. That's really, I love to see the this divine health flowing through all of us. We know that to be true, and the minute anybody in this community has challenges, we appreciate knowing about it so we can get you on our prayer line and get you in our thoughts, because it's just so powerful, so powerful. Okay, so Dorothy has landed in Oz. Her house was lifted up, her old consciousness she's leaving behind. Sometimes it feels very dramatic like this, and she lands in Oz, and she lands on the Wicked Witch of the East. And so the symbolism is that as we make changes, the challenge, our thought process has to shift. So the witchiness of us, I have dealt with that witchiness sometimes, lessens. The more I'm noticing the rainbows and the sky, the less I'm focused on the things that are not about following the dream or are not about Oz. So the witch, the minute that she's in her new, working with that new idea of consciousness, the witch is killed. And the Wicked Witch, her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, shows up. And also Glinda, which is, this consciousness of possibility. And the witch is trying to take the shoes that ended up on Dorothy, the ruby slippers we talked about last week, being, her inner knowingness, and that's why she had to keep them on. But the Wicked Witch of the West is wanting to take the shoes, and Glinda says, "You have no power here. Be gone." And this is part of our opportunity when we're seeing, the part of us, we used to live in Nebraska, don't be excited about anything. It's like, no, be excited. Let yourself get into the joys of life, the technicolor of life. So she's there in Oz, and she's invited to follow the yellow brick road. And we've decided to call that kind of our mantra. Follow the yellow brick road. Let's just say it together. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. And the idea is the yellow brick road is the journey of the possibilities of your life, and to keep following that path rather than the path of can't happen, can't do it, don't have enough. And you'll see how these characters remind us to follow that yellow brick road. So Dorothy comes to a place in the yellow brick road where there's a fork in the road. I always see a fork sitting in the road, but there's two ways to go. And she is thinking, which way do I go? Have you ever had that in your life? Which way do I go? What do I decide? And the idea is that it's really the time of reflection, rather than forcing a choice. But so she's standing there, which way do I go? And then she notices the Scarecrow. Now, it's interesting that the Scarecrow shows up because Dorothy's from where again? Kansas, where they have a lot of corn, yes. And so she recognizes why a Scarecrow. This is a symbol she understands. And the Scarecrow's going, you can go that way, or some people go that way, or some people go both ways. And then she says to the Scarecrow, "Why can't you make up your mind?" And the Scarecrow says, "Because I haven't got a brain." And then she says to the Scarecrow, I know it was a few years since you saw this, and she says to the Scarecrow, "How can you talk and not have a brain?" And the Scarecrow says something that is rather insightful. He says, I want to get it right, "Some people without brains do a lot of talking." Now, we'll say present company excluded. All right. Some people without brains do a lot of talking. So this idea is that the Scarecrow says he doesn't have a brain, but clearly he does. All right. So I'm going to show you, to get you into your childlike wonder, and we're going to show you the Scarecrow talking about not having a brain.
Laugh in my face. Oh, I'm a failure because I haven't got a brain.
Well, what would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching if I only had a brain. I'd unravel every riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain.
With the thoughts you'd be thinking you could be another Lincoln if you only had a brain.
Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nuffin', my head all full of stuffin', my heart all full of pain. I would dance and be merry, life would be a ding-a-dairy if I only had a brain.
Wonderful. Why, if our Scarecrow bat in Kansas could do that, the crows would be scared to pieces.
They would? Where's Kansas?
That's where I live. And I want to get back there so badly, I'm going all the way to Emerald City to get the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, all right. So this is her first encounter, yes? And the Scarecrow is saying, I don't have a brain. And Dorothy is saying, I want to go home. So are they living in the present moment? Right, no. And Dorothy, I love the metaphysician in Dorothy, because she says to him, I haven't got a brain. What would you do with a brain if you had one? See, that's the metaphysics, right? If you had the thing that you think you're missing, what would you do with it? You know, we feel like we're missing things. Maybe I don't have the love in my life that I want, or I don't have the health that I want. Clearly, Spencer saw the health that he wanted because he's here sitting in a chair. And it's the idea of not having the thing or having the thing you don't think you have. So our question to you today is, what are you looking for that is already within you? What are you looking for that is already within you? See, Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder, she'd been told that she was ill. Her family had an illness, and she was told she was ill, and she believed that. So she was, instead of I don't have a brain, I don't have health. But what she was taught through the metaphysician that she encountered, because life is going to throw things at us to remind us who we are, is that you're a child of God, and therefore you don't inherit sickness. So they were asking her, basically, if you had health, what would you do with it? If you knew that health was greater than your illness, what would you do with that? And so that's our question that we're asking ourselves is, if I know this creativity is within me, then what would I do with it if I knew that I was having this thing that I thought I didn't have? So there's a couple things going on. So Dorothy, you'll notice, is also saying, I live in Kansas, and I want to go home, and I'm going to find the wizard to tell me how to do that. Do you all see how this is so similar to how our religions were set up? All of it, right? All of these people feel like something's missing. We're going to go to Oz because Oz is going to figure it out for us. And we're going to bond in this sense of we're broken. Anybody ever heard about somebody saying that you were a sinner and that you were born in original sin? I always wonder how you get self-esteem out of that. Right? You know, how does that work? So the idea is that it was really it wasn't teaching that was helpful. But you can see how this movie has so much been that thing that broke through the idea of what religion was. So we had to go find the Wizard of Oz. And you know, as the film goes along, they realize, I've got I've got the brain, I've got the heart, I've got the courage, and the home, as we said last week, home is where the heart is. You know, the home is in me. So she sets off down the yellow brick road. But I know the other thing I wanted to say about this is that the idea of living in the past, of going to the past, how many people have ever looked back and said, boy, I should have made that decision because that would have been better for me. I should have stayed with that person, or I should have stayed with that job, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. Because the deal is, really and truly, the reality is that the past is finished. The beginning of this talk will never come again. It's not that we don't look back and have wonderful memories about the past and talk about the things that maybe we learned, but we can't go back. But boy, there's a tendency to go back, just like Dorothy. I want to go to Kansas. Like Dorothy, you just got to Oz. You just landed. Everything's in color. Don't you notice that? right? It's like everything is beautiful here. It's interesting. It's fascinating. It's not just black and white and tumbleweeds. A little like Texas too, yeah. So the idea is she's not noticing what is going on. She wants to go back. And this is her thing. I can't wait to go back. I'm always trying to get back. As I have shared with you all many times, I used to be a flight attendant. Your exit doors are there. I just can't stop doing that. Anyway, so some days when I've been rather, like in a Dorothy mood, like that was easier, I'll be on a plane, I'll be traveling, and I'll look at a flight attendant and I'll think, they wear shorts, they have tennis shoes on now, all they do is give you peanuts, and I'll think, why couldn't I go back there? It occurs to me at times to time. And what I realize is then I start thinking about why I resigned. I loved it. I loved the flying. I loved getting on a plane for free. I loved all that. But what happened is, for me, I wanted to talk about more than chicken and fish after a while. And it just occurred, and it was a divine discontent. I was really unhappy because I wasn't going forward in my own life. The thing that I thought I was missing was already in me. And I'll tell you, years ago, I flew for Pan Am, and then Pan Am was bought by United, and then I was flying out of Florida, and I was laying over in Lincoln, Nebraska. And if anybody's from Lincoln, I'm sorry, but that was not my, layover destination of my life. So I was just not really happy with this. But years later, in my divine discontent like Dorothy, I applied for the airlines again. And they didn't hire me. They rejected me. I'm like, what? I used to be a flight attendant. How could you do that? But see, the universe was saying, no, this is not you anymore. You can't go backward. You can't try to shove yourself into a smaller part of you. When I was moving to Maui, I called a dear friend of mine. You might know him, Alan Cohen, who wrote a bunch of books. And I called him and I said, Alan, I'm thinking about moving to Maui. I've just been offered a job, but I want to move to Maui and start a wedding business and do weddings. And I said, I don't know, what do you think? Because the rational, practical side of me was, I should stay here. I was living in Florida at the time. And he said to me, Heidi, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. And what he meant, it was perfect sense to me. He said, you've expanded. See, we've all expanded. Dorothy's expanded because she went to Oz, and she's saying, I want to go back to Kansas. And we're like, but you see how there's a part of us as we're all growing that we still sometimes can deny it and we want to go backward because we're just uncomfortable sometimes with spiritual growth. So let's look at this Scarecrow that thinks he doesn't have a brain, all right? I'll ask the question again. What is it you're looking for that you already have? So the Scarecrow, he thinks he doesn't have a brain. He makes a joke, which already takes a little bit of intelligence right there. We're going along, and he is the one that he's a highly reflective thinker, and given a little time, he produces amazing results to the problems. So have you noticed that intelligence is not just your IQ? It's your EQ. It's your emotional intelligence, your emotional quotient. So let me just give you this quote around thinking. That thinking is not simply ideas. In fact, thinking may be a way it may not even be the right word. It's probably more accurate to say contemplating. It's about collecting our thoughts, reflecting for a moment, and then moving forward. Has anybody ever talked right when an idea came to you and you thought later, should have reflected a little bit? Does that ever happen? Right. And so the idea is that a brain or intelligence is not the idea of, again, being able to solve some kind of a mathematical problem. It really is the ability to take in what's going on in life and reflect on what it is and then come from wisdom. So the Scarecrow, when they found a tree, right? And Dorothy's trying to pick an apple from the tree, and the tree's not happy about that The tree only thinks, it's got so many apples, and it's not happy about Dorothy taking an apple. So do you all remember what the Scarecrow came up with? He said, if we annoy this tree, who's already kind of annoyed, this tree will start throwing apples, and they're going to throw apples at us. All right, so he's really discerning a lot of things, and so we see that the Scarecrow absolutely has a brain. And it is interesting how he keeps proving this throughout the movie. They get to Oz, and Oz says, oh, you need to go get the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West. And they're like, what? So this is this God, of course, that's telling you got to perform and do all these things to be accepted. But the Scarecrow becomes the leader. The Scarecrow becomes the one that says, when they've torn him all apart, the monkeys, he says, put me back together, because I've got to help you guys. I'm the leader here. And he is the one that notices when Toto comes back that Toto knows where Dorothy is. He's constantly coming up with the answers. In fact, they say that really the idea with the Scarecrow is he's come into some level of leadership. There is the leadership quote, Penny, that is about the ability to move people through crisis. It's adaptive leadership. And he says it's the practice of mobilizing people not only to survive difficult challenges, but to thrive. And thriving in this sense means growing, improving, and capitalizing on change. Have we gone through some changes with the pandemic, with all of these changes? And so the idea, if we put this back up again, it is the ability to go through these changes and not only survive, but thrive. And every single person has had to learn something about thriving in times of where what you normally did, you're not doing. Community is all about finding one another and supporting one another. And now we're all, stay home and get on your computer. It's like, what? So we all had to learn this adaptive leadership. We all had to use our brain in a different way. I'd love to interview everybody here and say, how have you done that? Because you've done it. You had to. And I can promise you the word that comes out of my mouth a lot is, I don't know anything about technology. Anybody say that? Patrick, I have to call you and then text you and then call you and then you got an email and I'm joking. But this is what we do because it's like, I run around and I'm outside working. I'm not checking my phone all the time or my computer. But I've had to shift it to say, I love technology. Are y'all willing to do that with me? I love technology. Yes, technology works for me. Let's do that. Technology works for me. Yeah, right? I know Miss 30-year-old over there is like, get on Instagram. It's like, yeah, whatever. So the idea is that we're really shifting. We're engaging that part of us. We had to, and it was in there all along. So we can see that the thing that we're looking for is within us. And we may not become, we're writing programming or anything like that, but you're more skilled than you used to be. And it was in you all along. We're celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. And it is, and the idea of Hispanic Heritage Month is really to look at the people from the Hispanic backgrounds, other countries that have brought things to our country. The depth and the color of this country that is so rich because people have brought their gifts to it. They haven't said, I haven't got a brain. They're saying, I've got gifts that I can use. And I looked at so many people last night as I was looking through this, and one of the ones that has stood out for me for many years has been Lin-Manuel Miranda, who has Puerto Rican and Mexican background. And he went on to, read the book Hamilton and create a rap musical around Hamilton. I don't know, probably many people have seen it. It was very hard to get a ticket for a long time. But the thing he did that I thought was the most incredible, besides putting a whole musical together with rap, is that he brought in people of color for the Founding Fathers. And when you went to that musical, you got to see, isn't this fascinating that we get out of what we would have always thought our Founding Fathers looked like, and we get into this understanding that our country is so rich with so much depth, but it takes someone like Lin-Manuel Miranda to come in with his ethnicity, with his way of seeing the experience from having this background, and it blesses all of us. The quote around this, around Hamilton has been, Lin-Manuel Miranda is rewriting the founding father narrative to purposely reflect the kind of country we live in today, choosing to cast the founders of our country as people of color, maybe not historically accurate, but culturally accurate as a reflection of a 21st century nation built by immigrants. Like Manuel Miranda's version of history suddenly becomes an inclusive one, inviting every American to see his or herself reflected in the story of the founding fathers. And do you see that he didn't say, I don't have a brain? What he said is, what I have is the gift. See, what we have is the gift. I was speaking, the last job I had, I was with one of my friends, worked with a colleague who's one of my favorite public speakers. And I didn't really want to work with him at first because I was like, oh, all I'm going to do is compare myself to him. But what I realized is what's in me is what's valuable. What was in Lin-Manuel Miranda was what was valuable. What was in the lion, the Scarecrow, was what was valuable. He had a brain. We have all the things that we're looking for. And what's our question here again? What is it that you are looking for that's already within you? I want you really just to reflect on that. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that's on your mind, on your heart now in your life that you already have? Whether it's abundance or talent or love, it's fascinating to see that it is already within you. So I want to close with Lin-Manuel Miranda's, one of his quotes. It says, you are perfectly cast in your life. I can't imagine anyone but you in the role. Go play. Yes. So give yourself a hand for being here and noticing what you already have within you. So we're going to sing together. I am so blessed. Nathalie's going to lead us. And we're going to be in that idea of, I'd like you to reflect on what you feel, just like the Scarecrow. Something is missing, but it's not at all.
So grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. So grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So this is the time to even more deeply relax and reflect and receive. Our wisdom comes not from a certain level of intelligence. It comes from the ability to lean into life, to notice what is already there, and to notice how life brings the people and the experiences on our yellow brick road to remind us of that truth. When the woman touched the hem of Jesus' garment and then said to Jesus that she was well because of touching his garment, he said to her, it's your faith that made you well. It's your faith that made you well. Dorothy asked the Scarecrow, what would you do if you had a brain? So as we're reflecting on having the thing that we think we're missing, let's feel the gratitude and perhaps even the surprise, letting go of any thought anyone might have given us that it wasn't enough or not to notice the joy of life. Let the little boy, the little girl, feel the fullness of your spiritual value and worth. It's as close as our breath, and it's right here, and it's right now. Let's be in the silence together with our wonderful divine energy. The power of listening to our soul, stopping the outside world and tuning in to the still small voice. And we let our journey be the journey of the Scarecrow that goes from, I would just be a nothing, my head all full of stuffing, my heart all full of pain. And he lives his life a little bit more and discovers not only does he have a brain, but he has wisdom of the soul. And he and you and I are ever one. So we rest in that truth. I have everything I need, and I always will. And so it is.
So once again, thank you, Heidi, for the wonderful lesson. I watched The Wizard of Oz this past week, and what an amazing movie. I really suggest to all of you to try to watch it during this series, because it's really a remarkable achievement in movie making, but the message is just so powerful. It's on Amazon for, I don't know, $2.99, $3.99 and maybe on Netflix also, but definitely on Amazon. So thank you. So this is the time in our service where we get to celebrate our abundance. We get to celebrate our gratitude, and we get to celebrate sharing. We have a wonderful affirmation. Let's say this affirmation together. I am abundance in action. I have plenty to spare and plenty to share. And of course, our sharing activates our giving. And so I encourage and I so hope that all of you can reach into that grateful place inside of you and give generously. There's a number of ways that you can give. If you're online on our Unity of Santa Barbara website, unitysb.org, you can find the give button, the donate. Is it give or donate? It's give, okay. And so that'll take you to Givelify. If you're on the live stream page, there's also a donate button. And on Facebook, we have placed a donate button there. So online, you can do that. There's also the Givelify app, which I use. I love it. It makes it so easy. And you can set the Givelify app up in a way that will do recurrent giving for you, so you don't have to keep going in every week. If you're here in person, the ushers will be coming through, and you can give cash or checks, or if you like to give by credit card, please come out to the table after service and we can take your credit card also. So however you make a decision of how to give, we want to take that spirit of giving, that spirit of gratitude into your heart, and let's bless our gifts with these words. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share. And now we have Nathalie.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, love gives me everything I need. Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need. Peace gives me everything I need.
Nathalie, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, and then you can do your song.
Well, I am Swedish Peruvian, and I grew up in Spain. So this is a very special month for me because my dad is Latin American, and I am excited to sing the song that we have prepared for you. I have been so influenced by the Latin culture. I used to go to Peru once a year. Since I was a little girl, I got so inspired by the culture and the music. There's so many kinds of music in Peru, so we're gonna give you a little taste of the Latin culture. And I hope you guys join us and dance a little bit, okay? So feel free to stand up. There you go, yeah. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crece la palma. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crece la palma. Y antes de morir yo quiero echar mis versos del alma. Guantanamera, eso, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Everybody clap. Yo soy un hombre sincero, ¿De dónde crece la palma? Yo soy un hombre sincero. ¿De dónde crece la palma? Y antes de morir yo quiero echar mis versos del alma. Everybody, Guantanamera, eso, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. One time, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Hey.
Thank you so much. That was really fun. I love those Latin rhythms. Okay, I'm back. So, if you will indulge me for just a couple more minutes, I have something really exciting to tell you. And a little bit out of breath here, but that's okay. Get those hips moving, move. So one of our core values here at Unity of Santa Barbara is love. And it's really the bottom line of just about everything we do, right? God is love, and love is what motivates us to be here and to do everything that we do. So it is with love for this ministry that Reverend Heidi and your Board of Trustees are introducing a new program. And it is called Growing the Good. And there it is. Yeah, I just love, I love this idea of right from the very beginning. And don't you love the hands and the heart? Isn't that just great? I really love this whole idea. So what is the good that we are growing here? We are, of course, growing love. We're growing community. We're growing connection. Everybody wants that. Everybody is, and you know, is it within us? Is the love within us? And are those connections coming from within us? Yes, of course. I want you to think for a moment, what is the good that you have received from Unity of Santa Barbara? How have you felt love here? How have you been inspired to grow spiritually? How have you benefited from the educational opportunities that we have presented for you here? And how have you been served? And maybe even more importantly, how, in what ways have you been given the opportunity to make the world a better place in serving others? So that's the good that we are growing. Love, community connection, inspiration, education, and service. Those are a lot of really great things to be growing, right? So why now? Why are we doing this now? In reality, in the present moment, none of us really expected to be in this place at this time via COVID, right? None of us expected to be here. And we here at Unity of Santa Barbara kind of got a double whammy. We were toward the tail end of our transitioning period. We were working with our transitional ministers. We were ready to step into our next phase of welcoming our new minister, and COVID arrived and really derailed everything, really took us sideways and took us to places that we didn't imagine going to. And in some ways it was a gift, and if you really stop to think about the gifts of COVID, it's really a worthwhile exercise, because I know all of us have learned something. But the reality also is that Unity of Santa Barbara and all nonprofits took a big hit financially. Some of the churches that we know about have had to close. What we know here at Unity of Santa Barbara, our giving has fallen to less than 50% of what it was. This is a reality that we are faced with, and we can go into despair around that. We can become the cowardly lion or one of those other characters and go, well, we don't have anything. But we have had people supporting us all along the way. We have had people who've been significantly, enormously generous. The reality, again, is that we would not have been able to continue if it weren't for the funds, the federal and state funds that we got via COVID loans and other financial support. We would not have really been able to keep our doors open. Those sources of income have closed down. We are no longer able to get those. So we have an opportunity to start something new. The board, Reverend Heidi, and a lot of other people started thinking outside the box and say, let's do something new. We have an opportunity here. So we want to start with something that is going to provide a solid financial foundation for this ministry. For years, we have been kind of shooting at moving targets and funding things that have been arising, like, if you're at an arcade. We don't want to do that anymore. We want something foundational. And so we have come up with this program that will help us grow and thrive. We want it to be a sustainable, recurring giving program. We want to create a fertile soil to grow in, if you will. So we are inviting all of you to come and grow with us. In the next week, you're going to be receiving, in the next week or so actually, you're going to be receiving an envelope, and in that envelope are going to be two things. One is this really, really wonderful brochure, and the other is a commitment card, and we're going to be talking more about these, but what we want you to do when you receive this envelope is not to make any decision right away. What we would like is for you to sit with this for a bit, to pray about it, to meditate about it, to take this decision to a higher level in your consciousness. We want to, I'm on page 2 here, and I didn't realize I was. So we don't want you to make any hasty decisions. We want you to think about it. And we want you to, at some point in the next 3 weeks, make the decision to come and grow with us. It takes a village. It takes a community to make things like this happen. You are the community. You are the village. And so now we have someone that wants to speak from her heart, and we want to hear from the hearts of everyone. She's one of our villagers, and we're going to watch a video. Welcome Kyoko Soaring Eagle. And here she comes.
I came here first during the Patty and Eddie days, and it was so long ago, I really don't remember how I found Unity. But when I started coming, I would start crying during service, and that didn't feel right to me, to cry in public. So I would only come every few months or once a year, and gradually I just got more used to the energy here, so I came more and more often. And I joined at one point, and I'm so happy here. The reason I'd cry when I come here is because there was something deep in my soul that was being so touched. And I think it summed up in the phrase that was used today at the luncheon, that I felt like I had come home, and I didn't feel like I had such a loving home up until then, because I had a very challenging upbringing. Well, I've done other things besides Unity in conjunction with the Unity teachings, but it's just taught me to take control of my own happiness and given me tools to do that by encouraging affirmative prayer and meditation and community service. I love the people. I love singing in the choir. I love the energy here and being with other spiritual seekers who are very warm-hearted and kind, and we take care of each other.
Yes, let's see. So thank you, Kyoko. I told her she was the movie star of the day, and she said, I gotta leave now. But isn't it beautiful that she cried when she came in, and then she said, and I couldn't do that in public, but I hope we realize that, the heart opens and the eyes leak, and it is 100% come and cry. It's the greatest compliment to know that your heart's open. So again, Kyoko, thank you so much. And we have a lot, if you wanna make a testimonial, Penny is there for you. And Penny, thank you for putting that together. That was quite beautiful. And we have many coming up, because the whole point is, you wouldn't believe what I hear from you all about how much you love this place. And now we're going to have the camera going. So I was wondering, who is here for the first time? We want to say welcome. Yeah, if you're here, just raise your hand. Oh, thank you, Kathy. And what is your name? Sophia, welcome. Oh, that's wisdom. So we have some sunflowers. Anybody else that's new here for the first? Oh, absolutely. Cheryl? Yes, Cheryl, all right. So I know you all will be, as you're moving around, I just want to tell folks that's right. And Kathy, yes, Kathy will be up here to talk to you in a minute. So, but you can give Kathy one. Yes, absolutely. So no, it's Kathy right there. Yep. All right. So I want to tell you all welcome. We've all been here for the first time, and it can be sort of like, wow, this feels good. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm glad I feel good. And you're welcome to, we'd love you to come out to our little table over there at the end. Peggy is right here, and she'll tell you hi. And Sophia, here's Peggy and Cheryl. And we'd love to get, if you all want to get on our e-blast, it tells you what's going on. We always have a lot of things going on, but we welcome you. Thank you. I'll give you a hand. Glad you followed Spirit to be here. Yes, this isn't a place that you come out of guilt or I should go to church. It's like, nope. It's like, I want to feel good. All right. So we have a number of things coming up. First of all is dance night this Friday. Who's planning on coming? Everybody, right? Guantanamera, right? So anyway, please do come. We have a lot of fun. It can be, it's Scott Topper, a DJ. You can pick any kind of music you like. We have that whole area. He brings lights. It's like an outdoor disco, but not the disco music unless you want it. All right. So we really want, this may be our last one because it's getting chilly. So we really want you to come. If you have any interest in coming, you come. All right, then the other thing, Kathy will come up in a minute. She's doing something for Saturday, but hang on 1 minute, Kathy. The next thing that's going to happen at the end of the month, yes, I rode my broom here today. It was very much really saved on gas. All right, look, we got friends this year. So, yes. So we are having Spooky Bingo again. It's on Halloween night. Afternoon. Halloween is a Sunday. You could wear your costume to the service, but at 4:30 we're having Halloween Spooky Bingo, and you buy a card, $25. It's 10 games. There's 3 chances to win, so that's 30 chances to win. If you want to be extra lucky, you can get 5 cards, and that's $100, and you get a free dopper. The dopper, it's really fast for your dopping your thing. Yes, and there's prizes for every game. I believe Bill Dutton won a few prizes last year. Really lucky over there. And so, Bill, maybe you should just buy 1 card this year. Yes, but it's online, so everyone, it's at 4:30. So the East Coast people can get on. Everybody can get on. You can buy your cards online right now, and next week you can buy them here. And I know you all were really participating last year, and it goes right to our marketing costs. So if you like the e-blast, If you like this online service, you play Spooky Bingo. All right, so without further ado, Kathy Leader is a wonderful Art of the Soul teacher. I've met her at Santa Barbara Newcomers. She's originally from South Africa, and she's totally cool. So Kathy, come on up. She's going to teach a class this Saturday afternoon in our beautiful courtyard at 3:30. So let's welcome Kathy. Yes.
Hi, everyone. Oh, this is so wonderful to be here. I have not
We want to hear your
danced like that for a long time, so thank you. Yes, I will. So I met Heidi through the Newcomers Club. I arrived last year from Los Angeles, although you don't believe me that I'm from Los Angeles, do you? I'm originally from South Africa, and I'm a creative coach. And I want to tell you a little bit about the event we're doing on Saturday? Yeah? The 16th at 3:30. Who of you are interested, have always been curious about your creative ability? Wanted to paint and draw, but felt a little anxious, nervous, not good enough. Any of you interested? Yeah? So I believe that we all naturally creative, instinctively creative. Otherwise, the cave painters wouldn't have done what they did. And if you see little babies with even their food or paint in front of them, they are creating from just that intense desire. So what I want to do for you is create that opportunity. So I've been doing this for a long time, and my goal is to bring that creativity out in everyone so that you feel the incredible power, the healing power of art in your bones, in every part of your body, even your brain, I guess, if you don't have one. So this is my question. What would you do if you did find your creativity in you?
Yes, thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. So Kathy will be out there to talk to you. It's $25. It will be a wonderful experience. I'm going to be there myself. So we're, I know, I get it. We leave all this stuff up here. So thank you all so much for coming. I'm glad for you all to know that what you're looking for is already within you. And we have to remind ourselves. So this is a perfect class. If you don't think you're a good dancer, then come to dance night. It's so fun. And it'll be, it's an amazing evening. So I believe we're good. And we're going to stand and sing our peace song. We're so glad you're here. And you are the peace of the world. So let's sing about this. And let's welcome, sorry, I got to say, Nathalie, thanks for coming from LA, these wonderful musicians. Rene, thank you for that drum, that's so beautiful. Thanks to all of our volunteers. Everything you see set up, a volunteer did it, thanks to our ushers, and we just really, really appreciate you all. All right. Thank you to Dr. Jim. Yes.
With God.
And the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a joyful week.
Thank you, Nathalie.